At ease. It's your boy Soul Immortal. First off, I want to say thanks for you guys that are rocking it with me into 2019. Guys, I really appreciate your support, and I can't thank you enough. So I was watching a little television today, and I came across a small little clip of Jesse Jackson. And he was in Chicago, and he was giving, gifts away to kids. A very beautiful event he had going on. He was in a lower income neighborhood, and the kids, that didn't have a big Christmas. He was there to give them gifts, and the parents were glad, and all this stuff. And then he gave his little spiel on what he had planned for the future, some stuff about, holidays in Chicago or whatnot, whatever. But when he got done, he said something that I've always heard Jesse say, and I never thought about it. He wrapped up his spiel, and he looked at the crowd, and he says, "Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive." And I thought about that, man. I said, what he's telling them is the exact same thing that will keep them in the position that they're in. What he's telling them is what's going to cause these kids that he's giving these gifts to be the parents that live in these impoverished neighborhoods in the future. What he's telling them, guys, is something that is killing their success. And that's to keep hope alive. Let's talk about it. Now, when I say that hope is killing your success, I don't want it to seem like I'm saying that hope is a bad thing, because it's not. Because what hope is doing is showing you that you're on the positive side of your desire, that your mindset is in the right direction. But one thing that hope will do is that it will keep you stagnant for the remainder of your life if you just stay in that hope mindset. And the first thing we need to do is to talk about the differences between hope and believing, or hoping and knowing. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're talking about hoping. Say for example, you have a package you've been waiting for in the mail for a week or so, right? And your doorbell rings. Now, on your way to the door, in your mind, you are hoping and wishing or whatever that it's the FedEx guy. But you're just not sure. It could just be that neighbor down the street that wants a cup of sugar or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's hoping. When you're out at the grocery store, man, and you see this fine young lady, and you want to approach her, you want to get some action from her, some phone number or whatever, and you're walking to her. And as you walk up on her, you're hoping she gives you some play. You're hoping you can walk away with the phone number. And guys, it's important to know the difference between hoping and knowing. Now we talk about knowing. I always use this same scenario. You get up in the middle of the night, you walk in your bathroom, you walk in your kitchen, and you hit that light switch. There's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt in your mind that light switch is going to come on. That's knowing. When you get in your car in the morning and you turn that switch, before you hit these switches, you don't sit there and pause and say, you know what, I hope this light comes on. I hope this car starts in the morning. When you cut that television on in the morning or in the evening, you don't say, I hope this television comes on when I hit this button. It's for some reason things like this, we just know it's going to happen when we hit the button. And what we have to do is apply that same feeling, that same surety to everything. When that doctor tells you some news that you don't want to hear, you have to take it for what it is. And when you leave that office, you have to have your mindset knowing that things are going to be better, knowing that you're going to be healthy. When you apply for that job, when you apply for that mortgage on that house you want, when you apply for that new car you want, whatever it is, you have to walk away knowing that it's done. Hoping just won't get it, guys. You have to know without a doubt that it's already done. In the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, there was one part where he was talking about you can have two men in the exact same city, in the exact same economic situation, to open a business, the exact same business. One business could take off and succeed, and one could just tank immediately. And he was talking about what principle made that happen either way. You know what I mean? And it came down to mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I think about the Steph Currys in the NBA. And I think about some of the guys that are on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to top shooters. And I say the difference between these guys is some of them hope to be successful when they pull that three-pointer. And guys like your Steph Currys, they know they're going to hit it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have two guys that on the same team, go to practice every day, but they perform so much different. And it's because one is hoping and one is knowing. And that's just how it is in life, guys. So how does one go from the mindset of hoping to the mindset of knowing? In my mind, I'll say it's three different things, guys. The first one I'm going to say is, of course, knowledge of self. And when I say knowledge of self, what I mean is knowing who you are. And we've talked about that. Knowing that you are made from the exact same source from which you came. That you are a creator. You know what I'm saying? That knowledge alone will get you there, right? And then I'm going to say number two is study to show thyself approved. I think it's important for a man to not only be studying material that's going to make him grow farther, but to be studying, even if it's repetitive material, to consistently be putting positive things in his mind to assure him. You know what I mean? I read some of the same books. I read them, man, 4 or 5 times, just back to back, because I'm just reinforcing. Study to show yourself approved is going to build that confidence. It's kind of like going to the gym every day. You go to the gym to build that muscle, you know what I mean? You read every day, or you listen to audio books, or whatever it is that you do to build that spiritual strength. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to say number 3 is going to be to test yourself. The one thing I can go by to know if I'm either hoping for something or knowing and believing or something is how I feel on the inside. For example, you guys have heard me talk about a home that I plan on getting next year. In my mind, in my body, in my soul, it's almost like I no longer have this strong desire for this home because I already have it. Because I know it's there. So it's not like I have to have this burning desire to hope. It's like it's done. And I feel like it's done. Kind of like if I go and start my washing machine, that I know at some point when it gets finished, it's done. Like I don't have to do anything else. It's done. That's how I can know on the inside if I'm still hoping for a thing or if I'm knowing and believing a thing. You know what I mean? When it comes to health, you know what I mean? It's the exact same way. Guys, in 2019, I would love to see all of us just have some explosive growth. And I'm not talking about material things. I'm not talking about, us just gaining, money and all this stuff. Guys, I'm talking about us gaining wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Because that's the real source of everything, And one thing I was telling a brother the other day, I said, man, it's weird because, some years ago I wanted all these things, and I'm not going to front like I don't want nice things. But I remember reading in a book, and it might have been a book from Russell Simmons, I'm not sure. But it said that once you start coming into power and knowledge and understanding, the less you'll be attracted to some of these things of the world. And I never understood that. And when I read it, it almost pissed me off because I was like, you know what, Russell's coming from, a multi-millionaire, status, and he's talking about, don't want these physical worldly things to seek this spiritual knowledge. And it almost upset me, you know what I mean? But when you look at the Bill Gates, when you look at the Zuckerbergs of the world, These guys have a lot of money, and you can look at these guys a certain kind of way. But guys, these guys have a major understanding. And the reason I bring these guys up is because if you look at these guys' lifestyles, these guys are billionaires driving Priuses. These guys are multimillionaires wearing T-shirts and the same jeans and New Balance tennis shoes every day. And I see that, and I think about what Russell said, years ago in that book, and I'm starting to get it now. Because the more I see my bank account grow, the less I want to go out and just do things. If I'm doing something, I want to do something, for myself, not nothing to be flashy or nothing like that. That desire just falls away. And that's why I want to see us all grow this year, guys. 2019 is going to be our year. It's going to be our year. I'm speaking that into existence for all of us, guys. But just know that hope alone will kill your success. Again, hope is not a bad thing because it lets you know that you're on the right side of your desire. But to remain in a hope mindset will leave you stagnant. It's your boy Soul Immortal, and I'm out.